I'm in a night. Let's spark a light and see where it leads. Just you and me, hiding behind
The atmosphere in the room was heavy with grief, the weight of your loss pressing down on you like a suffocating blanket. You sat at the kitchen table, your hands trembling as you clutched a steaming cup of tea, your eyes red from countless tears shed in the grief. Your mom and dad sat across from you, looking really sad. They seemed tired, and their faces showed how much they were hurting. You could tell that they were feeling the same kind of pain as you just by looking at their eyes. It's been 3 months, and Emily, she needs someone to take care of her, like Emilia would have done if she's here with us. Your mom said softly. The pain was visible in her voice as it was heavy with emotions. Your heart felt heavy when she mentioned your sister. You missed her so much. She was like a part of you that was now missing. But marrying Jungkook, he was Amelia's husband. How can I? You whisper, looking down, tired and scared of this conversation. There's no denial that you wanted to be a mother figure to Emily. But you don't want to marry Jungkook. Your dad reached out and held your hand gently, trying to comfort you. Ryan, my dear, I know it's a very big thing to ask, but Jungkook needs help too, and Emily needs a family. Tears started to fill your eyes. The idea of marrying Jungkook felt wrong and weird. What about me? What about what I want? You asked while your voice was shaking with emotions. Your parents looked at each other like they understood how you felt. They said they knew it wasn't what you wanted, but sometimes you have to do things for the people you love. You felt a mix of anger and sadness. It didn't seem fair that you had to give up your happiness for everyone else, but your dad said it wasn't about making anyone else feel better. It was about doing what was best for Emily, Jungkook, and the family. Even though it felt really hard, you knew deep down that you couldn't say no. You would do whatever it took to help your family, even if it meant giving up your own happiness. Jungkook was sitting alone in the dimly lit living room. After putting so much effort, Emily finally slept. She's only 3 months old and she never felt her mother's touch, but she has gotten used to your touch and warmth because you take care of her. The silence of the house echoing the emptiness in his heart. It had been 3 months since Amelia's passing, yet the ache of her absence remained as sharp and stiff as ever. He blankly looked at the family portrait hanging on the wall, his eyes tracing the familiar contour of Amelia's face, the warmth of her smile etched forever in his memory. How he longed to hear her laughter once more, to feel her gentle touch upon his skin. But she was gone, taken from him far too soon, leaving behind a void that could never be filled, and in the wake of a loss, Jungkook found himself lost in a sea of grief. His daughter Emily was his only comfort, a precious reminder of the love they had shared, but even she seems to sense the absence that hung over their home like a shroud, her laughter muted. Jungkook tried really hard to be there for Emily, to be like a dad to her after her mom was gone, but he felt so sad and lost. His heart hurt too much to handle on his own. Then there is you, his sister-in-law. You came into their lives quietly, but you brought some light into their darkness. Jungkook saw how you take care of Emily with so much love, just like Emilia would have done. Your kindness helped him feel a little better. Jungkook never wanted to put his own needs before yours. He couldn't let you sacrifice your happiness for him and Emily. He knew it wouldn't be fair to you. Even though he was struggling, he didn't want to take advantage of your kindness. He understood how much pressure both of you were under. Your parents wanted you to marry him for Emily's sake, and his parents wanted him to marry for his own happiness and Emily's well being. But he couldn't ignore his feelings or yours. He knew he still loved his first wife, and he couldn't pretend otherwise. Marrying you when his heart belongs to someone else would only hurt you in the long run. I won't allow myself to ruin your life. I have no right to do that, nor do you deserve it. You deserve someone who can love you the way you deserve. I won't let your life get ruined because of me. He closed his eyes and stayed like that for the whole night. The next morning you came to Jungkook's house. It still hurts you to see how this place has completely started to feel strange and abandoned. Without your sister's presence, it's been 3 months. A new member came in this family, but only after a sacrifice of another. No one can forget that. You could hear Emily's crying, and it made your heart ache even more. Give her to me. Jungkook was surprised to see you. He was so busy in taking care of Emily that he didn't realize you came. He gave her to you while you carefully held her little figure in your arms. She was non-stop crying, but as soon as she felt your touch, the warmth of your embrace, she stopped crying and seemed to be relaxed in your arms. You smiled. She has gotten used to your touch. I'll bring coffee. You nodded while you walked towards the kitchen. Even though you didn't give birth to Emily, you felt a strong connection to her. You promised yourself that you would take care of her just like a sister would have. You wanted to be there for her, to love her, and to guide her through life, just like a sister would have done. In Emily's eyes, you saw the same love and devotion that had always been a part of your family, and holding her close, you knew that together you would find a way to heal and move forward, one step at a time. Jungkook came back with 2 cups of coffee and you both sat on the couch. Emily was still in your arms, but she was quiet and cozy. A sad smile appeared on his face when he saw his daughter. She is looking much more relaxed now. You looked at Emily. You really pity your poor niece. She lost her mother even before seeing her. Emilia's death had left everyone heartbroken. It's really hard to get back to that normal life again. And Jungkook, you can't even imagine what he's going through and how he's dealing with everything. He has lost his wife. He has no one on whose shoulder he can cry. He's helpless for his daughter as well. Did she sleep yesterday? Did she eat well? She's been better. Still, she's having trouble sleeping at night. Poor thing, maybe we can try singing her favorite lullaby again tonight. Yesterday you didn't come here because you are dealing with your own problems. You pity Jungkook, but marrying him would be a very big step and you don't want to end up regretting, especially when you know how much he used to love your sister and still do. Yeah, that might help. Thanks for being here, Ryan. I don't know what I'd do without you. Of course, Jungkook, we are family and families stick together through tough times. You were always there for him to support. I know, but I feel like I'm burdening you with all of this. You are not a burden. We are in this together. We'll figure it out, okay? He forced a weak smile and nodded. Thank you. After a silence, Jungkook looked at you. He wanted to apologize to you because he thinks that he owes you an apology. Ryan, I need to apologize. I can't imagine how much pressure your family is putting on you about this marriage. It's okay, Jungkook. They mean well, but it's a lot to handle. Still, I don't want you to feel like you have to do this for me or for Emily. Your happiness matters too. Your eyes were tearing up, but you decided to suppress your tears. You remained silent, so he continued. You don't have to listen to what others say. If it's about Emily, you can still be a mother to her even without marrying me. I don't want to ruin your life because of my selfishness. You deserve to live your life, and I will tell everyone, so don't worry. I just wish it would have never happened. I still can't get over from Emilia's death. Everything seems to vanish after she's gone. You looked down, cried, unable to control your tears anymore. Jungkook clenched his jaws tightly as he was stopping himself from crying. Jungkook gulped and spoke, finding his voice. It wasn't the destiny that no one can change. Maybe that's how it was meant to end. You wiped your tears and looked at him. I promise you that I will never leave Emily's side. She is equally precious to me because she is the last gift from my sister, and I'll give her a mother's love. He smiled weakly and nodded. I know you will. Emily is lucky that she has another mom. Then again a silence spread in the room as Jungkook watched his daughter playing in her arms. Maybe she doesn't feel the emptiness of her mother because you have fulfilled it completely. Both of your parents looked at each other because you and Jungkook wanted to talk. Today you both were going to tell them your decision regarding this marriage and they were praying to hear a positive response. Emily were in your mother's arms sleeping peacefully. Jungkook looked at you and then at everyone. Did you guys decide anything? Your heart was beating insanely fast before delivering these words to them, but Jungkook assured you that he's with you. Mom, Dad, Uncle, Auntie, we need to talk. Yes, we are listening. You looked at Jungkook. We have been thinking a lot about everything and we have come to a decision. He started. We can't go through with the marriage. It wouldn't be fair to any of us. Your parents were afraid of this only. But that doesn't mean we won't be there for Emily. We have both decided to take care of her together, just like she's our own daughter. Your mother looked surprised. But what about Emily's future? Don't you think she needs a stable family? We'll provide her with all the love and stability she needs. We may not be married, but we'll be a family in every sense of the word. His mother teared up. She was extremely upset seeing her son's condition and she was afraid that he would be lonely for the rest of the life. I just want what is best for Emily, that poor kid. She's only 3 months and needs a family, both father and mother. We understand Auntie and we do want her best. We promise to put her needs first. Your dad sighed. It's not what we had in mind, but if you both believe this is the right decision, then we'll support you. Thank you, Dad. Thank you all for understanding. No one seems happy with the decision, but they can't even force when both of you were not ready to marry. Jungkook set you free because he knew you deserve your freedom and the love you truly deserve. He understood that just because you were the sister of his late wife, he couldn't take away your freedom. He didn't want to hold you back from finding your own happiness. You started to focus on your career, pouring your energy into your work while still caring for Emily. She had become an inseparable part of your life, a little girl who brought so much joy and love into your world. You balanced your time between building your future and being there for Emily, knowing that she needs you just as much as you needed her. Even though Jungkook and you had decided to let go of any expectations for a romantic relationship, the bond between all three of you remained strong. You continued to support each other as a family, finding strength and comfort in the unique connection you shared. 5 years later, Jungkook was getting Emily ready for her first day of school. He was buttoning up her new dress while she fidgeted excitedly. Appa, when is Oma coming back? She promised she would be here today. I know, sweetheart. She had to go on a business trip, but she should be back soon, he said, smiling gently while his daughter pouted. But don't want to go without her. She promised she'd be here on my first day. He knelt down to her level. I know you miss her. I miss her too. But sometimes work is important and Oma had to go. She loves you very much and wouldn't miss this for the world if she could help it. Emily looked down while her face dropped with sadness. Jungkook always feel an ache to see how much Emily has got attached to you. And it's obvious because you have given her all your love. You never made her feel like she doesn't have a mother and she still doesn't know that you are not her real mother. Jungkook pulled her into a gentle hug. I know, Emily. I promise she'll be back as soon as she can. How about we take some pictures to show her later? She would love to see how beautiful you look on your first day. Okay, Appa, but you have to send them to her right away. Jungkook smiled and wiped her tears. Deal, now let's get your shoes on and grab your backpack. Oma will be so proud of you. Just as they were about to head out the door, they heard the sound of a car pulling into the driveway. Emily's face lit up with hope. Is that? The front door opened and you walked in, your eyes searching for Emily. When she saw you, her face broken into the biggest smile. Oma, she shouted, running into your arms. My baby. You hugged her tightly and closed your eyes, feeling her little arms around you after 2 weeks. You find it so hard to stay away from her. I thought you won't come. You broke the hug and cupped her face. I wouldn't miss your first day of school for anything, my baby. She kissed your cheek while Jungkook quickly wiped his tears that escaped his eyes. He was so grateful for you to lighten up their lives and become an unbreakable part. Are you coming to see me after school? You nodded. Of course. She showed you her bright smile while you got up and looked at Jungkook, who came near both of you. Thank you for coming. Oh please, do you think I would miss my baby's first day of school? Emily laughed while Jungkook chuckled softly. Let's go then. You nodded and three of you walked out of the house. Upon arriving at the school, you and Jungkook walked Emily to her classroom. She held onto both of your hands tightly, a mixture of excitement and nervousness in her eyes. Will you both be here when I finish school? Of course, we will be right here to pick you up. You knelt down to her level and kissed her forehead. Have a great first day, Emily. I'm so proud of you. You were getting emotional as 5 years passed like nothing, and that 3 months old Emily is now going to school. It was a long journey. Emily hugged both of you. I love you, Oma and Appa. You broke the hug and she went to her classroom, but she turned back and waved at you for the last time. You came in the car and today you were feeling your heart getting heavy. You were thinking about your sister, who must be as happy as you to send her daughter off to school. Things have become normal. Everyone moved on their life, but her place is still empty in everyone's life. Jungkook looked at you as he saw tears in your eyes. She was happy to see you. You quickly wiped your tears and forced a smile. Yes, and so do I. Time fled so fast and she started going to school. I'm so happy. He smiled and nodded. How was your trip? He changed the topic to lighten your mood. We got the project. I'm so happy because our team was working on it for years and finally it happened. He smiled. Congratulations. You smiled and nodded while Jungkook started driving. In these passing years, Jungkook tried his best to move on from Emilia's memories. He cherished them dearly, but he also knew he had to keep moving forward for Emily's sake. Meanwhile, you found yourself spending more and more time with Emily. You couldn't help but grow attached to that little girl who looked up to you with such love and trust. Your days were filled with taking care of Emily, and you found yourself putting your own desire on hold to ensure Emily had the best life possible. As Emily grew older, your bond with her only deepened. You became Emily's constant companion, her guiding light through life's ups and downs. And as the years went by, you found yourself unable to imagine your life without her. And in all this, you never try to find love outside. Your parents often ask you if you are dating or seeing any other guy because you were ignoring your personal life according to them, but they don't know that you already find your happiness. Not only Emily, but slowly you have started developing feelings for Jungkook. And you were not alone to feel so. As Jungkook watched you and Emily together, he couldn't help but feel his heart stir with emotions he had long buried. He realized that you had become an indispensable part of their lives, and he couldn't imagine a future without you. Despite the growing feelings between you and Jungkook, neither of you dared to acknowledge them. You were both too focused on Emily, too afraid to disrupt the fragile balance you had created for her. But little did both of you know that this relationship has already become a lot more stronger from inside than you were imagining, and Emily was the biggest reason behind it.